ho! Ho, 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 ho! And a happy Christmas to each and everyone.
Hello and happy holidays. I'm Rick Van Hoos. Over the years here at WLKY, we've shared so many special and unique stories during the holiday season. And today, I'm going to take you on a little trip back through the WLKY archives. Our first stop, the Santa House.
When you walk into Steve Giles' living room, it's easy to get into the Christmas spirit. The room is filled with tiny Santas from all over the world.
I guess it's a child in me. I think at Christmas time we all have a little bit of children in us, and that seems to come out, you know, the whimsicalness. And it's fun when you get a bunch of them together and see the different expressions and different people's interpretations of what Santa Claus supposedly looks like.
Steve first started collecting these tiny Santas as a child, but really got serious during the last 5 years. He now has almost 100. His collection shows that Santa has evolved over the years from his origins in Germany. Once known as Father Time, Santa didn't always wear red.
He's changed drastically. He changed in the 1920s. It's when you see the Santa with the red coat and the blue pants. Up until that time, most of the Santa Clauses that you would see would have the long coats, you know, and the Father Christmas type Santa Clauses.
And there's more to some of these old Santas than meets the eye.
And he's a candy container, and he's, like I said, he's German. He comes apart, and this is where the candy was put. And he's the oldest one in my collection, and I guess he's my favorite.
And there are some you can wind up, and others who just make music.
Now, back in 1991, WLKY traveled to Salem, Indiana to share another special story, the story of the Santa Lady.
Here comes Santa Claus, right down Santa Claus Lane.
When you create something, no two things is alike when you do it by hand. I don't have any idea what they're going to look like when I start.
They call her the Santa Lady. Sandy Coker works year-round on her Old World Santas, but she's especially busy around Christmas. She begins with the face.
But I do like a jolly face. And if you'll see, they have chubby cheeks, and you'll see someone with chubby cheeks. And I like the jolly. And people say, well, I like that one because he has such a sparkle in his eye, and I like his chubby cheeks.
Sandy's been making her Santas for 4 years now. They've been featured in magazines and in national craft shows. The faces have so much character. It's not by chance. Sandy shares the story of studying a man's face in a restaurant.
I want to tell you that I think you had a beautiful face, and I'd like to sculpture it. And I was studying your face. I said I didn't want you to think I was being fresh.
The beard and hair are treated goat's wool, the boots are sheepskin, the sweaters and gloves 100% wool, and the removable coats are beaver, mink, and chinchilla fur. Each one is loaded down with ornaments. A man in Wisconsin makes the sleds.
I always put something patriotic on each of my Santas. You'll find something patriotic. A pin, a flag, a hat, something patriotic. And that's my touch.
Sandy's touch is throughout her cozy home, adorned year-round in collectibles she treasures, like this 1830 reindeer set, the bubble tree so popular in the 1950s, and the Christmas books over 100 years old. Visitors often ask about keepsakes.
Because a lot of people say, was this for sale or is that for sale? And I said, no, you just enjoy my home.
Well, if you weren't in the Christmas spirit before you met Sandy, you should be by now. And not only is her house a Christmas museum, but if you come visit, it's extra special at night. 4,000 white lights dress up the outside. In Salem, Indiana, Joe Orlando, Channel 32 News.
What a special lady. When Sandy Coker passed away in 2007, her obituary even referred to her as Santa Lady. What a great legacy and memory she left to us all. Now, if you visited Santa Claus Land as a child in the 70s or 80s or even before, chances are you met one of Santa's most important helpers. In 1982, we sat down with Santa Jim Yellig, who spent nearly 40 years listening to children's Christmas wishes.
The smiling, bearded, round face and bright red suit are symbols of giving and love the world over. And though Santa Claus's image has been used and sold in almost every way, that image is seldom tarnished. That's because there are people like Jim Yellig. Since 1946, he has been the real Santa's helper at Santa Claus, Indiana. This smiling, bearded face is also a symbol of giving and love. He has held more children on his knee than even he can count. He says his reward is not in money, but in making others smile.
The real existence of a Santa Claus, a good Santa Claus, he's a dispenser of joy and happiness. And happiness is the one that what I'm enjoy. When you see these little children smile, of course some of you can't, once in a while you have fun that you can't smile. If Santa Claus would stand on his head, they wouldn't, but the most of them do. So that's why, that is my whole, just to bring gladness. Then you got Grandpa and Grandma standing out there, and Mom and Daddy, everybody smiling, that's the payoff. That's the payoff.
Each year, Yellig reads thousands of letters Santa receives from kids all over the world. Some are quite sad. They tell of fathers who have run away or sick and dying children. He tries to make some children happier by visiting hospitals and writing back, and tells every child that Santa Claus is not the only reason for Christmas.
Santa Claus stops at December the 24th, okay? And the next day is the day of the baby Jesus.
Yellig is now 88, and this wise old man has some good advice for Santa's helpers everywhere.
I myself and all the Santa Clauses should really believe they are the best Santa Claus, see? That pulls it through, see?
And of course, every Santa's helper must sound convincing.
Ho, 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 ho! And a happy Christmas to each and every one.
Legendary Santa Jim Yellig spent nearly 300 days a year at Santa Claus Land and listened to the Christmas wishes of more than 1 million children. Over the years, we've often traveled to the small town of Bethlehem in Indiana. During the holiday season, the town has had some unique ways of celebrating.
It's just the whole story. 3 wise men going to Bethlehem to see the Christ child.
This may look like any small rural post office, but it's different because it's in Bethlehem. Not the biblical Bethlehem, but the one about an hour northeast of Louisville. What makes this post office special are the 25,000 Christmas cards that come through from all over the world this time of year.
You get some mail from different areas, overseas, France, Germany, Italy. I have one man from Italy that always sends me a postcard and said, please send me a postcard from Bethlehem.
Are you getting about through?
No, just getting started.
Cecil Payton's mother, Anna, first started the post office in the 1940s. She also was the one who came up with the special postmark of the 3 wise men following the Star of Bethlehem.
I saw one in some magazine or something, and I wrote in and asked them if they could make me one, something similar to it. It wasn't just exactly, but about the same.
Got 2 kinds, look.
Cecil Payton has no children, so if the Christmas tradition is to carry on here at the Bethlehem Post Office, it'll be by someone other than a Payton.
And now I'm going to take you back to a holiday celebration at the Louisville Zoo. Back in the early 1980s, kids loved visiting Santa Land.
It was a little chilly at the zoo today, but people with the Christmas spirit hardly seemed to notice. They were too busy looking at the giant candy canes that lined the walkways and at the decorations, which seemed to be everywhere. Over a month's worth of work went into this annual project, although this year's was scaled down from 10 days to 3. There's over 8,000 Christmas lights alone, plus lots of other special events. For the zoo, this is a major public relations effort.
It's a good time to get people to remember that the zoo's open all year round, and that the more often you come out to the zoo and see the animals, they're going to be doing different things. Some of the best time to come out in the winter and see the polar bears when they're out in breaking holes in the ice. You see lions sliding down ice floes. It might be a little chilly for people, but the animals enjoy it.
Most of the zoo's 600-plus animals are outside on display. Besides the animals, most of the attention is on Santaland, where big crowds of little people line up to see you-know-who. Once inside, there's Santa's workshop and all kinds of neat displays. But not everyone who wants to see the main man necessarily wants to reveal their gift list just yet. At the MetaZoo, there are more displays amidst the lizards and such. For example, an intricate dollhouse with Christmas settings, a computer that draws Christmas cards, and a painter who uses people's faces as canvas. All this draws a pretty good reaction from both the children and the adults.
I like it because it's fun.
Everybody's so joyful. Everybody looks like they're having such a good time, and it's not costing much, and the kids are loving it.
I think it's pretty nice. Oh, it's a nice place to bring your kids and teach them about Christmas.
Are you impressed with the displays?
Yeah, I think they're real nice.
Christmas at the zoo continues tomorrow from 10 until 9. Admission is $1. Brian Traring, 32 Alive News.
Coming up next, we'll take you to the first ever Light Up Louisville and a unique look at an extremely rare set of Christmas lights. One of the first ever ready-to-go Christmas lights made by the Edison Company. We'll be right back. Welcome back to our WLKY Holiday Flashback Special. Here's a look at what people had to say back in 1984 when our reporter asked the question, where do you find Christmas spirit?
Some people found the spirit of Christmas in the voices of the Youth Performing Arts School Choir at the Kentucky Center for the Arts. It could also be found at the Salvation Army Toy Store, where gifts are being provided for 3,000 families who could not afford to buy them.
I think it's very wonderful. I was laid off and everything, and somebody told me about the Salvation Army. I could come and get my kids some toys for Christmas. I think it's very beautiful because they wouldn't have no Christmas if it wasn't from Salvation Army.
The lunchtime crowd outside the Galleria listed a variety of places to find the Christmas spirit.
Where do you find the Christmas spirit?
Oh, and the people, of course.
In what way?
Well, everybody's in a good mood, and they're cheery, and everybody's excited. And, of course, you find it most in the children.
Oh, I don't know, all over. All the decorations, all the stores got their things out for Christmas and stuff.
The closeness of my family. We're really close. I guess I find it, that in church, at home in church.
Where do you find the Christmas spirit and how?
At home.
In what ways?
I'm having my kids home, my family home together. Got 5 children in college, and once I get them all home, that's the spirit to me.
Time now to take you back to 1982 for the first ever Light Up Louisville. It took place at the Galleria downtown, which is now 4th Street Live. And the event was hailed as a success, even though it was a washout.
I'm sorry about the rain, but it's going to be a joyous occasion anyway. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And there was light, and most here saw that it was good. A big crowd watched the first annual Light Up Louisville ceremonies in a steady rain. It seemed there were nearly as many umbrellas as there were Christmas bulbs that lined the 4th Avenue Mall. After the lighting, it seemed the better view was from the inside of the Galleria looking out. Besides being warm and dry, the Galleria had some music to set the holiday mood. Not surprisingly, one of those most pleased with the event was the Galleria's manager.
Terrific. It was a standing effort of people of downtown Louisville to really show that we're back and we're a major place to be, and I think it was just an amazing evening.
And for the most part, the people we talked with agreed.
Oh yeah, I think it's very exciting for Louisville.
Do you have any problems tonight seeing or
Well,
otherwise?
parking problem's a little tough, but other than that, you expect that with a crowd like this.
Oh, I thought it was gorgeous. I thought it was absolutely gorgeous. Sorry about the rain.
I thought it's real pretty. It was beautiful.
If there was a disappointment, it was probably the effort to light the city skyline along with the Christmas lights. Most observers from a distance couldn't tell the difference before and after the lights in high-rise buildings were switched on. Nonetheless, officials call Light Up Louisville a success and say they'll do it again next year for sure.
Well, definitely it was a washout, and there seemed to be more umbrellas in that story than lights. Now let's skip ahead a few years to the first year the city held the event in Jefferson Square.
Louisville's Christmas spirit was turned on tonight with the flick of a switch.
3, 2, 1.
It was the biggest Light Up Louisville celebration in the event's 3-year history. 400,000 tiny light bulbs twinkled around City Hall, 4th Avenue, and Jefferson Square. The lighting ceremony moved to the square this year from the Galleria, and a huge crowd showed up to watch.
It's neat. It's really pretty. It was really exciting. I thought it was really nice. It got everybody's Christmas spirit, and it was just really nice. I'm glad I'm here to see it.
Another addition to the ceremony this year was a candlelight Christmas walk down Liberty Street, but that part flickered out a bit when strong winds kept blowing out the candles. The Galleria wasn't left out this year. Choirs sang carols as shoppers looked for presents inside the stores. City officials pronounced the traditional yet altered Light Up Louisville event a success again, and they say they plan to have another one next year. If you didn't get a chance to see the Light Up Louisville ceremony in person tonight, take it from me. It's worth a trip downtown to see all this, and there's plenty of time left. Louisville will remain lit up through New Year's Eve. Brian Truring, 32 Alive News.
In 1994, we took you inside a local home and showed you one of the first sets of ready-to-go Christmas lights made by the Edison Company. It was such a treasure at the time that the owner actually asked us to keep his identity a secret.
By 1903, the Edison GE Company offered manufactured ready-to-go Christmas light sets.
We can't tell you his name or where he lives because he prefers it that way. But we can tell you this Louisville man has one of the most significant electric Christmas light collections in America. The 1903 Edison set that's on his tree cost $12 when it first came out, equivalent to a week's wages. His shelves are lined with early Christmas light sets beginning with the 1903 outfit. The first bulbs had a carbon filament and were round or pear-shaped with tips on top to let heat out so they wouldn't explode. There were many problems early on.
If one of the lamps burned out, the whole string of 8 would go out. It wasn't until about 1910 that independent burning Christmas lights were offered to the public.
In another room, there is more Christmas light history.
In the 1920s and 30s, the lights took on a Hollywood look as manufacturers realized they could bring the bright lights of the big screen into America's living room.
About 250 different shapes. Most of them were made out of milk glass, which is white, and then painted over. And they were bought at your typical Woolworth-type department stores.
You may recognize a couple of these characters like Jackie Coogan or Betty Boop. Imagine a child's eyes lighting up the first time they saw these.
It's interesting to see how the strands have changed over the years. This 1903 Edison outfit is 3 strands plugged into a junction box and weighs about 5 pounds. The modern version is 1 strand and weighs a few ounces. Merry Christmas from Louisville, Joe Orlando, Channel 32 News.
Up next, you'll see how collecting toys for needy children during the holidays has been a WLKY tradition. Imagine a world before online shopping. Yes, it did exist, and many of us remember it well. The malls were always packed.
The malls are packed today, but you don't even have to see the crowds or the decorations inside to know it's the last shopping weekend before Christmas. Parking lots were jammed. Simply getting in or getting out was as challenging as finding an empty space. But once inside, last-minute shoppers wasted no time in loading up with presents and loading up their credit cards. How many bags are you taking home today?
Oh gosh, well,
I should buy a wagon so that I can pull it out the back door. I guess I've got about 7 or 8 bags, plus I have to go to the pickup door.
Most shopkeepers expect to do good business the weekend before the holiday.
At this point, men get kind of desperate. So they're buying, mostly fanciful things, wine glasses, vases, pretty things.
Today's shoppers pack their bags with everything from cheese assortments to Barbie dolls.
Masters of the Universe, dolls, Lego, just different craft sets, a lot of preschool, Fisher-Price for all the newborns and everything, Transformers, GoBots.
Shoppers didn't seem to worry about the inevitable 30-minute wait to escape the parking lot outside. Last-minute shopping means last-minute crowds, and even in a mall, there's a hearty Christmas spirit in the air on December 21st. Still, some shoppers don't handle crowds very well. They'd rather let Santa do the shopping.
I want to end this special holiday season flashback with a story I did back in 1995 about our viewers and their generous giving spirit. With a red light instead of a red nose leading the way, Santa arrived at the Volunteers of America to spread the Christmas cheer. And did he? Kids jumped with joy at the sight of jolly old St. Nick, toys for the kids, food for their families. The Christmas spirit was alive and well.
Oh, that's a good Santa kiss.
What did you tell Santa after you met him?
I said I love him.
And what'd he say?
Nothing.
I only hope that everybody that dropped one off gets to see this, because I would like for them to be here with us, because this is really what Christmas is about.
Just make them real happy, that maybe one day we'll be in a position to give back.
For the past month, you've been answering the call to make Christmas merrier for needy boys and girls. In fact, the 32 For You Help Force had to pedal faster at times to keep up with your generosity, but we did. More than 1,000 toys were bagged up, then loaded up for today's crowning moment.
Merry Christmas to you.
We worry every year about being able to provide enough for these people, and this year it's happening.
There you go. Merry
And we're still carrying that tradition on today at WLKY, supporting Toys for Tots, the Salvation Army, Volunteers of America, and so many other organizations working hard for our community. So thank you to all our generous viewers for helping make someone else's holiday special. And thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this short trip back in time. For WLKY, I'm Rick Van Hoos. Happy holidays.